Well, good morning and welcome. Oops, forgot to move my microphone again. Let me make sure we're on. We've been having problems with Facebook again this morning. There we are. My name is Colleen Hammond. I'm a former on-camera meteorologist for the Weather Channel, and now I'm an image strategist and an executive image consultant. I am also currently teaching a class on how to produce your own television show on Facebook. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you sign up for the class. We're actually starting. I have one tonight and one tomorrow morning. So how is everybody this morning? Chilly again here in North Texas. Good morning, Teresa. How are you? And Sarah made it. Sarah, did you end up getting in the membership area? I changed your login information, so you should be good to go. And yeah, lots happening. Wow, yesterday was a long day. Either I was on the phone with family or business calls. I had business call. I went nonstop all day. And next thing I knew, it was probably 9 o'clock at night, and I just kind of fell into bed. You did, thankfully. Fantastic. So glad to hear that. Yeah, I was worried because yeah, there was just a couple of problems that people had getting into the website. Good morning, my sister friend. I am so tired. Yesterday was so long, and it just all of a sudden, I was on the phone with Sherry. Her and I were on the phone. Feeling perfect once again, says Brandon. So happy to hear that. My sister Sherry and I were on the phone last night, and I just kind of went, Bruh. I just hit the wall. I was like, girl, I got to go to bed. So after that, I sacked out. I did have a beautiful surprise and a present, though. I actually now have it in here in my studio and in my office. My daughter's boyfriend, oh, you can't see it because it's kind of see-through, got me one of these warmers. And I love it. You put a little votive candle in it. And then he got this beautiful, it's like a holiday smell. It's a cinnamon nutmeg. I don't know if you can see that. It's cinnamon nutmeg. And it smells amazing. So I didn't start it this morning because I didn't want a fire going next to me, because sometimes I swing my hands around. So pretty excited about that. It smells amazing. I had it going last night. So, oops, I got to turn off notifications here. So anyway, it's kind of nice having tea with a friend every morning. Yeah. Paw Patrol. I've actually never heard of that. My youngest is going to be 18 soon. It's just like, hey, Victoria, how you doing? So yeah, I've lost track of television programs, and this is I think I showed you guys this the other day. This is like seriously an unbelievable mug. It's 26 ounces, and it's bigger than my others. And they got this for me for the Feast of St. Nicholas. Neat smell-o-vision, absolutely, because it really does smell good. And I love cinnamon. So it's a nice festive kind of holiday smell. So anyway, hey, Patricia, how you doing this morning? I was hoping Pam was going to be here. Pam said that her daughter Evie was a match. Her son was a match. Her brother, Evie's brother, was a match for her for a kidney. And then there was a complication. And I was hoping for an update. Little Einsteins and coffee. That's cute. Hey, Mary Therese, how you doing? She made it in. Julie's here. McDonald's decaf. What were you thinking? Decaf? Why bother? I don't even like it that much. Morning, Heather. I don't like coffee. I don't like the taste of coffee that much. I keep, I kind of doctor it up a little bit. This morning I put some Ghirardelli has cocoa powder, so I put some Ghirardelli cocoa powder in there and some stevia and whipped it up. So, yeah, I don't like the taste. See, look, I have to have two hands. This cup is so big. So, yeah, so yesterday was huge. We were featured on the main. Thank you, because we were featured on the main page. I understand Facebook featured us as one of their live videos yesterday. So I was answering emails for that all day as well. Victoria says, doing well. I used to be told by Facebook ahead of time that you were coming on. Now I get a reminder right when you're on. Huh, that's interesting. 26 ounces is a good cup. Oh, you have chocolate in yours. I did. I put some cocoa powder in mine this morning. I wonder why you're not getting notifications, because normally, it's interesting. It depends, too, if you're on your phone or your laptop, because where's my phone? Panic. on your phone, there's actually, and Terry told me about this. Is Terry here yet this morning? On your phone, if you're using Facebook on your phone, waiting for it to load in, there's now live notifications that are on there, and I think they have it on the desktop as well. So yeah, if you'll see on the top part, on the top part of your phone, oh, you can see through it. Anyway, on the top part, this top left over here, there's a new live button. And if you just, no, I don't want to go live. I think that's the one. Oh no, that's if you want to go live. Maybe it's down at the bottom. That's the one. Yeah, it's down here at the bottom. There's a little live button. Oh, there's my friend Danielle. So you push that little live button, and there's Danielle. Hey, girlfriend. And then you can go through and see who you're following that's live or has done a live video. Or, oh, there's Antonio. Oh, he's in New York hearing now. Did not know. And then it goes through suggestions and that type of thing. So that button that's on the bottom of your screen on your phone will do that. Almost better than, yeah, not decaf, because you're nursing. Same here, Victoria. I missed it. Hey, Claire. Toddler's watching Little Einstein, too, every single morning. I've never even heard of it. Chocolate morning, cold. What is, I don't even know what it is here this morning. I don't think it's quite as cold here as in North Texas as it was yesterday. Oops, somebody just sent me a message. I haven't even checked it yet. It didn't feel quite as cold. And we have a really well-sealed house. And we wrapped it, and we've got the spray insulation and all that kind of stuff. So when it's super, super windy, you know how the house can feel a little bit drafty? We normally don't feel it. But yesterday it was so windy, it did kind of feel drafty here in the house. Hey, good morning, Lori. Oh, it's 28. I had no idea. So it's 28 here in North Texas. Let me see what it's supposed to do today. I don't even know. I just got, literally yesterday, I didn't eat. I really literally didn't eat. I kind of finished up everything and went, I'm hungry. I was almost hangry. I was so hungry. 42. It's supposed to be 42 today, but it'll be 71 on Sunday. So welcome to North Texas. Let me see. Lori says 12 in Northeast Kansas, 45 in North Central Florida for my sister. Jocelyn says 23 below. Is that centigrade or Celsius? Because that's, oh man, I just felt that right down to my bones. 41 with a 12-mile-per-hour wind in Louisiana. Yeah, that's, girl, that's amazing. I'm going to do my, okay, so that would be still very cold. 23 below in Alberta. I have tears in my eyes. That's still like 9 below Fahrenheit, 10 below Fahrenheit. Oh, that's amazing. That's Celsius, okay. Yeah, but it's still 10 below in Fahrenheit. I mean, it goes right to your bones. You know, we have a wood-burning stove. So that's how we heat, for the most part. That's how we heat the house in the wintertime. When it's going to be consistently cold for more than like 3 or 4 days, we get the wood-burning stove going. The air hurts your face. There is a poem I used to read out of this poem book to the children, and there was this one line, and I think it was a Robert Louis Stevenson poem, where he talks about being outside in the cold, and when you first breathe in, it's like pepper going up your nose, because it's like, you know, and you feel like you have to sneeze because it's just so like, you know, right, just goes right into your brain. You know, it's almost like eating ice cream and it goes right into your brain, and it's, you get that brain freeze thing. So it's like going outside and breathing in that first time, and you get that first really cold. Sarah says it's 23 in Kentucky. So yeah, it's winter. I guess it's December. So much for global warming. Yeah, I want some global warming. Might burn tires on my lawn later today. There you go. You need to hibernate, says Sarah. Yeah, get in an igloo. So, this coffee is tasting good this morning. I don't know what it must be the chocolate. Oh, that's what I started to say. Ghirardelli now has cocoa powder. So I put Ghirardelli. There's a taste difference for sure, as opposed to like the Hershey powder or anything. Tammy says, Jocelyn, some of my family is in Edmonton. We're feeling it there. So, yeah. Anyway, oops. Microphone almost came unplugged. So yeah, yesterday was a huge day. I sat and cried at the end of the day I started reflecting back on my gratitude list. I'm getting choked up again. I just started reflecting back on the end of the day. I like to look back and see what I'm grateful for. Whew! It was an amazing day. It was so funny because I went on Periscope and did the same thing that I did here yesterday morning. I went to Periscope last night. And there's strategies to get listed in Periscope. You know, if you get X number of people that pop in and out of your scope, and then they rank you differently, and then they push you into their live stream, and then you can get featured. And so there's like all things, there's business strategies. Like I said with us here, when you I didn't realize that scroll was still going. Let me turn that off. Like here, when you like and share, so anytime you give like a heart, a thumbs up, an angry face, whatever, every time you do that, it goes into Facebook's algorithms. And every time somebody shares this video, it goes into Facebook's algorithms. So if you get enough likes and shares and comments, feature into that too. Nobody knows. They never release their exact algorithm. But you know that if you get more likes, comments, and shares, then that pushes you. And then, so that's what happened yesterday and the day before. I think it was both Wednesday and Thursday, where there was likes, comments, and shares on our morning show. And so we all got pushed into Facebook's main feed, and they featured us. So because of that, and I think maybe because it was 2 days in a row, that I have been contacted by major companies and corporations and things like that. So yesterday was just another amazing day. And the more we can share and spend, just get some more. Isn't that awesome, Victoria? Yeah, I know. I started crying, Tammy. It's just at the end of the day, just reflecting back. And I went through the day and went, so many beautiful blessings, so many things that God has placed in my life and is giving me the opportunity to go out and share such a good positive message and get recognized on a big platform for that, to be able to take, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm so emotional. Yeah, Tina, thank you. But it's all of us. It's not just me. I mean, it's just you guys supporting me in this message and this mission that now is allowing that to be recognized on a major platform is really quite overwhelming. It really is quite overwhelming. So, and to whom much is given, much is expected. So with that comes a level of responsibility and obligation and that kind of stuff too. But I was doing my Periscope last night, and this gal pops in. I try to recognize everybody as they come in and call them out by name, and everybody likes hearing their name, right? And so this girl comes in, and it was Chloe Barone, and it said the First Lady. I went, wow, we have the First Lady in the house. I said, it's Chloe, and I can't read your last name. Yeah, so excited. Good news on Facebook. No kidding. We love you too. Thank you, Victoria. We really appreciate your talks. Well, I try to offer good value. You know, sometimes I'm like, golly, what am I going to talk about? And so I pray about it, and then boom, an idea pops into my head. You know, I'm like, thank you, God. So this gal Chloe pops in. She said it says Chloe Barone, the First Lady, and I said, the First Lady, huh? Whoa, the First Lady's in the house. And she said, would you like me to explain my name? And I said, yes, please do. And she said she is she's in Ireland, and she's in the Dublin area. She's right outside of Dublin. And I went, oh, I have family outside of Dublin. That's where my family's from. And she goes, oh my gosh. She was the first, she just signed to a record label, and she's the first female that this record label has ever signed. She's coming out with her Christmas album next week, I think, and then her first major album drops at the beginning in January, I believe. So I was like, I thought I was so excited for her. And I said, you know, nobody remembers number two. Everybody always remembers the first person to do something, you know, or the gold medalist, or who won the Super Bowl. Nobody, you know, you think back, you know, you don't remember who they played, but you remember who won. And I said, and you will have that for the rest of your life. You will always be known as the first lady to be signed by that record label. Nobody will remember the second, third, and fourth person, you know. And she said, oh, you're so sweet. So then she turned around, she goes, oh, I'm going to share you with all my followers, you know. And so she shared me out with all of her followers, and now we follow each other over here on Facebook and everything. And she's got this huge following because she's this big, like, singer star person, I guess, in Ireland. So, yeah, it was really cool. And it was just, well, Sherry, I think you popped in on the end of that Periscope last night. So, and I said, it's not, time is a zero-sum game. We only have 168 hours a week. But love is not. And appreciation and support is not a zero-sum game. There's plenty of that to go around. There's plenty of negativity to go around too. So because it's so easy for people to be negative, let's be positive, support, collaborate, and uplift each other. And so she invited all her fans and followers in, and she had, I think, 12,000 followers on Periscope. I have 500, So I thought that was really sweet. But again, I forgot to mute this. That's the idea of loving and supporting and encouraging each other. And because she was so blown away by that, to me, it's just natural. You want to, wow, that's great. Good, congratulations, kudos, good on you. And because we don't see a lot of that in our culture anymore, she was so blown away by just like us sharing her joy. So anyway, yeah, it was pretty cool. You inspired my 16-year-old son to write a book. Yes! Something you said in the class got him thinking. Fantastic. And he can make that into an ebook. He can self-publish it and put it on Amazon, do through CreateSpace and all that kind of stuff. Thank you. Oh, that's so exciting. Everybody's got a book in them. Again, God gave us all a mission and we all have a story to share. So, hey, why not? Okay, so that was 15 minutes of me crying. So let's move on to... what's the topic for today? 5 ways to get more done. First of all, have your coffee and don't ramble and cry because you get sidetracked. All right, so 5 ways to get more done. First and foremost, before you get started, ask yourself, why? Why is a very powerful word to a very powerful question. And a very powerful word. A very powerful question to ask yourself. Why? I need this. Yes, I congratulate you on being fabulous. I encourage you to keep on doing Facebook Live. And I love you. Thank you, Julie. See? Oh, that doesn't there's plenty to go around, right? Hey, Kathy. Glad you're here. So asking yourself why. When you lose your why, you lose your way. That's from Gail Hyatt. My friend Michael Hyatt. There's Michael and me, right? But that didn't work very well. I forgot I had moved that, so I have to change that over. But that's what Gail says that. So when you lose your why am I doing this? Why do I get up every morning and pour myself a cup of coffee and make sure that I'm in here with you every morning? Because after cancer, I have a lot of love and I want to give, and I have a mission that I feel, so I have to dig down into what I think God wanted me to do in my life and how I'm in the position now that my children, my youngest, Kiara, will be 18 in a couple of months. So I have, now is my time to go out and do the rest of the mission that I think that God has for me. Because I don't think we all have just one mission. I think we all have plenty to give in our limited time here on this earth. And again, what's the meaning of life? To know, love, and serve God in this world so we can be happy with Him forever in the next. So that's how I am knowing, loving, and serving, is I want to serve. I want to give back. I feel that God has given me so much and I want to be able to give that back. And now that my primary obligation of forming these 4 adults, these 4 children into adults, is kind of coming, not to its end, but to the end of my influence. That, and I know that really never ends, but you know what I mean. I feel now that I can turn in what I was doing as a part-time basis and a spare time basis on the side, as far as writing and teaching and educating and traveling. Now that I have more time on my plate, and I'm over cancer, yay! Hopefully that I can go on and do this. The Baltimore Catechism, yeah. I make my kids memorize it before they have to do Baltimore Catechism #1 before their first Holy Communion. So they can recite it by rote, and then when they got older, we explained it. So you want to keep asking yourself why before you start a new project. Also, you need to go and analyze a lot of the stuff in your life, anything that you're committed to. any church activities that you have committed to. And those are some things that those commitments, you may have to go back and say, you know, initially when I accepted this position, or I agreed to this commitment, I thought I'd have more time. I was under the understanding, and I think it would be the best for the committee if I stepped back. I think it would be the best, you know, so you have to look for what's better for them and use, and because it's also better for you, because you won't be able to be there 100%. So look at all of your commitments and say why. Just dig down into the why. Why do I have this commitment? Did I accept this commitment or agree to do this because I was feeling guilty? Was I afraid of missing out? I'm doing it for someone else. That's not a good enough reason. Because I'd feel guilty if I didn't do it. That's not a good enough reason. And if the reason doesn't align with your primary obligations, your mission, your vision, your values, then you need to say no. So dig down, get back to the basics. Dig down into the reason why. Why do I have this? Why do I have these commitments over here? And before you accept a new commitment to put on your calendar, look to why. Why am I agreeing to this? Why do I want to do this? Because when you'll lose your way if you lose your why. So always be, that very powerful word is getting down into the why. The second thing, you have to get in the habit of saying no. Now, as a mom, I'm really good at this one. My first response is no. My husband's first response is maybe or yes. And then you have to go back and be the bad guy and say no. I'd rather be the bad guy up front and then look the hero and go back and say, you know, I've thought about it a little bit more. And the answer is yes. So I'm just in the habit of saying no. And there's times that I want to say yes, but I can't. You know, there's just not enough. There's 168 hours in the week. You know, you have it, I have it. That's all we got. You know, so sometimes I just can't. And I do get asked to do a lot of things that I just don't have time for. Warren Buffett, this is a quote from Warren Buffett. The difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. They have, hey Raymond, they have their calendar, their mission, their values. They know their why. They know why they do things. They know what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, when they're going to do it, why they're going to do it. So that when people come to them with something, they just take it and say, this is my calendar, this is my why, this is my stuff. And you've come to me with this, it doesn't fit. If it aligns and if it fits, then I can say yes to it. If it's off or skewed or tries to, flop my stuff around, then I'm saying no. So learning to say no, getting in the habit of saying no, because some of us have the disease to please. We're people pleasers, and it's a disease, and we need to get cured. Be healed of the disease to please. It's not healthy. Is that the choleric in me? Which part of me? That I just automatically say no? Well, my secondary is sanguine. And sanguines have the disease to please. So part of me is a people pleaser, and as a woman, I'm a people pleaser. So I think more of it is I had to learn to say no, but because I am a choleric, it's easy for me to say no because it doesn't work. I have to learn to say no politely instead of like, no. I have to learn how to be more, a little bit more tactful. Yeah, the no part. So I for me, once I got in the habit of saying no, it became very easy. But truly for me, it's learning how to say a tactful no. You don't have the disease to please, Brandon. That's funny. Lori says, I'm just starting to say no. It took me a long time, but it's a must in order to stay focused and stay at peace. Very well said. Thank you, Lori. So learning to say no gracefully. How do you say no without hurting other people's feelings? Because at this point now, I get asked to do a lot of things. And because I'm far clearer on my mission, on my why, I've always been clear on my values. And I don't have the need to be, I don't have the need for everybody to know me, or I don't want to be a celebrity or be in the limelight. I just want to help people. And I know there's a lot of people that I know that they want to be in the limelight. I could care less. I truly, I've been in the limelight. It's a pain in the butt. Don't want it. Sarah says, I must be a long-lost relative. Careful what you wish for. We have openings in our family tree. No, I'm kidding. So when people come to me and it's like, yeah, but, and this happened to me a number of years ago after I wrote Dressing with Dignity. I have an organization that came to me and said, we'll make you a millionaire if you change, the guidelines and you do this, this, and this. And I'm like, they're not my guidelines. They're Vatican guidelines. Can't change them. No. And they're like, yeah, but you'll be making $40,000, $50,000 a week because we can do this, 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 and this for you. And I'm like, no, I can't. I won't compromise my values. And that organization has turned more and more. I know how they run. I know what they do. And they just, I've seen a lot of things crash and burn. So Brandon says they say that in many of my direct responses, I am condescending. I don't agree. You are wrong. Well, it's learning to choose your tone of voice matters, and learning to choose certain words. All right. So this is how you say no gracefully. Who did I learn this from? Probably Michael Hyatt. But no, it was like a Dr. Yuri, I think what was his? Anyway, it's called the yes, no, yes. So when you say no, it's kind of learning how to write a thank you note. And I teach this in my classes and stuff. I'll just tell you guys this morning how to write a thank you note. I tell everybody this. The challenge, well, I think the reason a lot of people don't write thank you notes is they say it's so hard because the very first thing they say is thank you. And thank you has to be the last thing you say. It's a 3-part process when you write a thank you note. You recognize the person, you recognize the gift, then you say thank you. I was so happy to get, I was so happy to go to the mailbox and receive your letter. When I saw your name on the return, I was so excited. Then when I opened it and saw that you had sent me a gift card to Amazon, I was thrilled because there's something in my shopping cart that I've always wanted and I just didn't have the spare cash to get. So I took your gift card and got the candlesticks. Thank you so much for the very kind gift. So you recognize the person, you recognize the gift, and then you say thank you. It's the same thing with learning to say no. Sarah says, thank you. It helps so many of us trying to dress to please God. We can try to please others too. Yeah, no more pious potato sacks, please. Except when I'm tired. Yeah, well, from here down, again, like I said, outside the camera angle and below the camera angle is very comfortable. Let's just say it's very comfortable. So learning those thank you notes. So saying no is, instead of just saying no, you do yes, no, yes. So it's kind of like what we always talk about, the Oreo cookie rule about giving constructive criticism. Because you can call it constructive all you want. It's still criticism, right? So you sandwich it between 2 compliments. When somebody comes to you and says, does this make my butt look fat? And your first response is yes. Then what you want to do is say, I love the color. So you find something genuine, a nice compliment type thing. Then say, I think it probably does, but this also over here. So it's like a compliment, criticism, compliment. Because it takes 10 positives to counteract 1 negative, which is why we try to love and encourage and support each other. So the same concept holds true when learning to say no. It's the yes, no, yes. Congratulations. So somebody comes to me and I've been promoted and I need your help. Can you help me? It makes your waist look small. Yeah, there you go. This is just an example of somebody that just got promoted and came to me and wants my help, but can't afford to pay me for my time, etc. So can you help me? And I'm like, oh my gosh, congratulations on the promotion. That's the yes part, right? I'm just so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. This must be great. Thanks for your family. I really wish I could help you, but unfortunately, due to previous commitments, my calendar is just jam-packed, But you know what? I do know somebody that might be able to help you, or there's some articles online I can point you to. So let me find, and that's the second yes part. So it's kind of like the same as constructive criticism, the Oreo cookie rule, it's the yes, then you say the no, and then the yes. So a positive no, and then something helpful. So that's makes saying no more polite, easier to take on the other side. And that's what I had to learn. I had to learn, instead of like, no, my calendar's full, sorry, I can't help you, to be able to do it gently. Let me see. Brandon says, I try to be polite so I don't understand how I come across as being condescending in the workplace. I don't know. It could be tone of voice. It could be choice of words. It could be people's previous experience. You know, you never know. Julie says, this is so true. I had the heartbreaking, rude mindset to tell my husband that he couldn't sing. Oops, when we were engaged to be married. And to this day, 10 years later, he still hasn't forgiven me, even though I tried to let him compliment him all the time. Now he can't sing. No matter what I do, it's not a heck of a lot. Yeah. It's one of those things that, it's kind of like first impressions. They're lasting impressions. And any memories that are tied to strong emotions or strong smells are really hard to change. Liz says, I just shared this with a little note to watch on how to write a thank you note. Yes, as I have given gifts and not received a thank you or just a generic message. It's very sad. I know, I tell people, for heaven's sakes, just send a text message. If you can't do a written message, go, oh my gosh, thank you. You know, something just to acknowledge. Tina says, thanks for the yes, no, yes. It's really hard for me to say no, but it has to happen. Yeah. Dang, truth hurts, says Random. But yeah, so it just makes it makes it easier to swallow on the other side. If you have to tell somebody no, and because we have the disease to please, or we may not, and because, you know, when we have previous commitments, we have to get our priorities in order, and family comes first. So you have God first, family second, career third, friendships, you know, that, you know, just kind of peters out to further and further away from us. And Thomas Aquinas in the Summa details it specifically, exactly who gets what. So that's always nice to refer to as well. All right, so number 3. So again, the habit of saying no. Make everything fun. When you're in a good mood and do like gamification, which it was a new word for me because I'm developing an app, and I went to an app developer who's become a buddy of mine, and he's like, you know, you need to gamify it. It needs to be gamification. The example he used is there's Google Maps and there's Waze. W-A-Z-E, the Waze app, which is also an app. But the Waze app is gamified. It's a gamification because you can pick your little, you know, thing, and then every time you pass something on the road, you can add it to the map. You know, there's an obstruction in the right lane. There's a dog running across the road. Or what's really useful is when you're in traffic. This goes back to number 1. When you're in traffic, sometimes you just want to know why. Why is this traffic? You know, and then in the Waze app, somebody up there will go, oh, it's a car accident in the right lane. Right? So the Waze app is gamified. So make things fun. Thanks for helping us, says Laura. You're very, very welcome. Brandon says that wasn't a response to me. It was a response to the woman whose husband can't carry a tune. Oh, okay. I thought you meant, okay. So making everything fun. Because when you're in a good mood, it opens... Here we go back. See, here's my chemistry background again. When you're in a good mood, you're releasing different endorphins and different chemicals into your bloodstream, which opens up the creative centers of your brain. So when you're happy, and again, what did I say the other day? If you just can't like bring yourself to smile, you walk around with a pen or a pencil in your mouth for 2 minutes, actually. I looked it up yesterday. Up to 2 minutes, sometimes less, sometimes more, depending on how depressed you are. And that facial expression will release those endorphins and chemicals into your bloodstream. So what it does is it opens up the creative centers of your brain to allow you to think and solve problems better. Brilliant. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. I love Waze too, Sherry. It's like, it's so fun. Release the happy torrent. Release the kraken. So when you're in a good mood, things are easier to do, weren't they? When you're like, it's so much easier to clean the toilets, you know, and it's easier to get things done. And that's why. Because you have different chemicals flowing through your bloodstream, which give you a whole different outlook on life and opens up the creative centers of your brain. Because panic, stress, those types of things release all the negative type of chemicals into your bloodstream, and they will block problem solving, and they will block the creative centers of your brain. Smile. People wonder what you're up to. I love that, Lori. Jocelyn says, my son just checked the temperature with the wind chill. It's 31 below. Just thought I'd put that out there. That's pretty funny. I'm sorry, this person has texted me 14 times. I want to make sure it's not an emergency. Okay. It's not. So number 3 is, of course, making things fun. Oops, looking at the wrong screen. I had Photoshop over here on the other screen, and it still has number 1 up. So I wanted to make sure I had the right one. Yeah, okay. So that is number 3. Number 4, increase your downtime. And number 5 will make this make more sense and help you do this better. Maybe I should have put those in the other in the opposite order. Increase the amount of time that you recreate, because recreation comes from recreating. So you want to recreate yourself. Let's see, I thought Julie says, I know this is a little off subject. Do you have any advice on how to motivate employees in the workplace? My husband asked me that this morning, and I really have no good advice to give him. Let's see, the panic expression. How to motivate employees in the workplace. Motivation, the lowest impact motivation is fear. The highest way to motivate people is with positive goals, positive outcomes, positive encouragement and support. In the workplace, again, it depends on their temperament. And I left the temperaments class open. I talked to some of the people that are in the class, and they said, yeah, people can catch up. So if somebody still wants to take the temperaments class, they can. I just found this on my son's desk, and I'm like, oh, this is fascinating, and I started playing with it. But the lowest level of motivation is fear. Fear is a very short-term motivator, but long-term it has the opposite effect. So anytime motivation is involved, it needs to be from a positive angle and a positive goal-setting point of view. So he's a supervisor trying to motivate employees. I wasn't sure if it was like a self-employed situation or what. I mean, it depends on a lot of different factors. But Jocelyn, I have to go out in that in a few minutes. Whoa! Hope the car starts. That's like the worst thing in the world. That sound. Oh, I hate that sound. Julie giving them incentives, make them feel good about themselves. Absolutely. So yeah, that's a long topic, and it depends on a lot of different factors. So I hope that a little bit helps. So anyway, so increasing your downtime. Put recreation on your schedule. And this is with a lot of people that I mentor, for example, as entrepreneurs or they're self-employed. You kind of feel like you have to be working all the time. And then the definition of somebody who's self-employed or an entrepreneur is that they're willing to work 80 hours for themselves rather than work 40 hours for somebody else. I have to put this down because it's intriguing. So the challenge is that they feel like they always have to be on the laptop. They always have to be on the computer, and they're go. And like I was talking about yesterday, when you have that, you get less done. If you have that constant need to be moving, you end up getting less done than you would if you just focused your time. So scheduling in, if you don't schedule it, it won't get done. So and it's also easier to say no to people if you look at your calendar and you've already scheduled reading a book, right? I'm sorry, I've got something on my calendar. I've already got a previous commitment. It's reading my book time because I need that. I need time to sit, to unwind. Even God said, the Sabbath is for man, not man for the Sabbath. That seventh day of rest is because we have to have a break. Our bodies, our minds were not made to go 24/7. They weren't even made to go, they maybe 24/6, but not 24/7. So God even built in that day of rest that is required to relax, to recreate. And the 8-hour workday, they found, I think it was Henry Ford actually that was the first one. I need more of number 4. Yeah, I do. But to me, a lot of times work is fun. I enjoy the work I do. So that makes it like yesterday. I fell into bed exhausted, but happy and so grateful and crying because I had such an amazing day. Brandon said Julie has to tell them if they put their best foot forward, they will not only benefit the company themselves, a little reward meal doesn't hurt either for a job well done. Yeah, it's funny because my husband works for IBM, and No more Christmas parties, and they quit Christmas parties, and everybody's still, I mean, every Christmas now, I think it's been 4 years, no Christmas parties, or no holiday parties, or whatever, like, they just don't have it in the budget. It's like, jeez, come on. So you need balance in your life. You have to have that spiritual balance. You have to have that recreation time, and then you have the work time. And as a mom, it's sometimes hard because you're 24/7 a mom, and you're 24/7 a dad. And if you're a stay-at-home mom, that's even harder. I had a friend of mine in Georgia, this cracked me up, that she said her mother, there's like 12, 14 kids or whatever, she would take her hat, this tells you how long it was, like in the 60s, she would get out her gloves, put her gloves on and put a hat on and say, I'm going to go to church, does anyone want to go with me? And nobody wanted to go. She would drive to the end of the driveway, she lived on a lot of land, but she would drive to the end of the driveway and read a book. But she knew nobody would want to go with her. So that was her downtime. So she got out of the house, she was away, and she could go read her book. Let me see. Jocelyn says, my husband orders in lunch as a treat for everyone when he can. It helps the guys feel more like a team. That's a great idea. See, look at this hive brain. Brilliance. Just a bunch of brilliance here. So make sure that you, hey, Linda. Make sure that you plan your recreation time. And finally, number 5 is determining your golden hours. Not your golden years, your golden hours. Are you a morning person? Are you a nighttime person? I knew what I was going to talk about this morning, and I sat there last night and I went, I'd rather do it at 5 a.m. I'm a morning person. I used to get up at 5:30. Now I'm finding the past few days I've been getting up at 5. Maybe because I'm so excited and then things are just kind of coming all together. Tina says, I love the idea of penciling in my downtime. I rarely take time for that myself, and I know that you need it. Thank you. Then you have a legitimate excuse. Absolutely, Tina. Sarah makes me feel better, although I'd love to go to Mass on my own. Yeah, no kidding. Victoria said, mornings are your golden hours. Yeah, so I'm a morning person. And instead, and we talked about this the other day, if you focus your work without any distractions, whether, some people write blogs, some people, have to do menu plans, some people do grocery lists, that type of thing, totally morning, yeah. That you'll find that if that's your productive time, if you're a morning person and that's your productive time, that's when you need to schedule, that's when you schedule your time to do the things that need to get done. So for me, I get more done between 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. And normally for people, it's 4 hours. You'll find that there's 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours during the day that you're like at peak alertness and creativity and productivity. So you want to take those important tasks that need that brain power, that need that creativity, that need that, and put those in your golden hours. And that's when you do them. Then the rest of the time, like I know between 1 and 3 o'clock, well, 1:30, between 1:30 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I do a power nap. It's a 20-minute nap. I do a power nap and I use my app, my Pazziz app. I do that power nap in the afternoon. I am good for nothing. So I will listen to any trainings that I need to listen to, any webinars that I want to listen to, any podcasts. I'm not really a podcast person, but that kind of stuff. Any audio trainings or anything that just requires me to sit and go and just kind of absorb. I do between 1:30 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon because I'm worthless. And then right around 3 o'clock, my brain starts kicking in again. So those are my down times. I really can't read during those times either because I'll fall asleep. So I do my power nap. I do that kind of stuff. Mornings here, scheduled downtime, then back out to the barn for my sister Sherry. Lori says, Mom needs to get a night off a week to go to Mass or something else that refreshes. Insist on it for your sanity. Insist. That's a powerful word. And you're right. Absolutely right, Laura. Patricia says hers is mid-mornings. So, yeah. So that's when you do the things that need, those lesson plans. If you need to do lesson plans, if you're doing grocery plans, if you're doing anything that requires energy from your brain, find your golden hours, and then that's when you do the work. And the rest of the time, give yourself a break. That's the rest of the time is when you schedule in your other things, your recreation times, your spiritual times, your, I'm just drawing a blank on date night, whatever. You you use those golden hours to be the most productive, and then you do other things in the other hours. So does that make sense? How we do on time? 44. Look at that. We just kind of seem to lock into those 40-minute mornings, don't we? So any questions on that? Any comment? Everybody's given some great suggestions and comments along the way. Just a great hive brain here. Oh, it's Friday. I was going to say, Tom, what do you want to talk about tomorrow? But tomorrow is Saturday. We're not talking about anything tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to try to probably do more Periscope this weekend. I tried to last weekend and just didn't work out very well. So pop in some prayer requests, and let me go over here and read these prayer requests. Let me see. Prayers for families to see that there are gifts to each other to cooperate with God's grace. For a CPAP headache and weakness can pass so that she can function today. Safe travels for all the students going from Franciscan University and studying in Austria this semester. For abundant graces and wisdoms for LW's daughter and for the relationship to be strong. For prayers this weekend for someone's business. Personal intentions for Sarah. Sherry's personal intention for a friend Lisa dealing with liver cancer. Tina says, I tell my homeschooling moms to make sure to take time for yourself. Pass it along. Yeah, increase the downtime and utilize golden hours. Absolutely. Prayers for those outside today in Alberta, says Jocelyn, and personal intentions. Conversion for my nephew, for Patricia, and for financial need. For preemie twins and toddler to stay healthy during the strong flu and RSV season. For a brother who decided to elope yesterday and their families who are heartbroken. Oh, well, no wonder we don't see her here this morning. Rosemarie was in a car accident. Please pray for me. I was in a car accident. So for Rosemarie. Conversion for my nephew, financial need for Patricia. So lots going on. So anybody have amazing plans for the weekend? Prayers for Tina as she heads out to the gestational diabetes clinic. Tina's car starts in the cold weather. Yeah, absolutely. For joy during this Advent season. Heather always makes it in at the end. For Lori's neighbor Joe, who's dying of bone cancer. The soul of the 36-year-old man from our community took his life on Monday. Wife, 3 children left behind. Wow. It's just... Somebody else had somebody that hung themselves. Was that the same person, Lori? There was somebody that... No, I think it was somebody that Heather knew that hung themselves. A rosary for me, Brandon? Thank you. I need that. I need that desperately. Yeah, after everything that's happened the past couple of days, I have to sit back, sort, and go through all my whys, right? And analyze things and where they are and what needs to be done and what needs to take priority and who needs me and who doesn't and who goes next. You know, and that's what I have to do when I finish up here. It's gonna have to get off and I have to sit down and say what's next for what's next. So no, it was somebody different, Lori. Okay, so yeah, plans to put up the tree for Gaudete Sunday. There you go. Golly, so much suicide. Well, you know, it's funny because they say there's more suicides during holidays, and then actually when they look at the statistics, there's not. I think we hear about it more. And it hits us harder because it is close to a holiday. But there is more depression in people that are alone. Same thing we talked about Thanksgiving, is reaching out to people that may be alone this holiday season, people that have lost a loved one this past year, because these first holidays without a loved one are very difficult. Shot himself in the head, Father Novak. Father Novak had tried to help him. Boy, that's got to be hitting Father Novak really hard. I have to talk to him. I haven't talked to him in a very long time. So anyway, so thank you for being here this morning. Make sure you heart it up and like it and share it if you feel that these tips would help somebody else. And I have a lot to pray about and think about this weekend about what our next steps are. And I've got that OBS class that I'm teaching. I've got a little bit more prep work on the membership area, and so much cancer. Yeah, I just feel very blessed. That's one of the webinars that I'm doing is how I overcame cancer. Greedy, that was for Tina. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Give one for me too. Thanks, Brandon. Gotta run, sis. Okay, see ya. See everybody Monday. Prayers for everybody's intentions. All right, so I'm going to pop on out of here and see if I can finish up these graphics and get them over onto Periscope and see what we can do for Periscope this morning, and then sit down and finish up some webinars and some lots of exciting things going on. I just have to sit back and pick through it and pray about it and see where God wants me, what relationships he wants me to continue to foster, what commitments he wants me to accept and put down. So your prayers are gratefully appreciated that I make the appropriate decisions as we move forward. So thank you so much, everybody, and God bless you, and we will see you Monday morning. Have a great weekend. Bye.